Welcome to the 700 Club. Let's go over to the CBN News Desk for today's top stories.
Gordon police are gearing up for unprecedented security in Times Square New Year's Eve. While the annual celebration is one big party, it's also one big target. CBN's national security correspondent Eric Rosales shows us some of the added protections officers are taking.
The countdown is on to 2018. Every year, the NYPD does a threat assessment and adjusts accordingly. After murderous attacks in Lower Manhattan and Las Vegas, this year's security plan more robust than ever before.
3, 2, 1, Happy New Year!
Well, some preparations for 2018 are fun behind the scenes. NYPD top brass have been planning relentlessly, understanding the crossroads of the world may be in the crosshairs of someone with bad intentions. After a gunman killed 58 people from the 32nd floor of a Las Vegas hotel, experts predicted the NYPD would be quick to adjust security plans in Times Square. A high-ranking police source tells CBN News the NYPD reviewed Las Vegas and has decided to position some of its 7,000 officers monitoring Times Square inside every hotel along 7th Avenue on New Year's Eve.
People should expect to see an increase in security this New Year's because of the ongoing threat we've seen from ISIS. Really, over the past few years, they've sought to encourage their followers to carry out low-level attacks wherever they can, particularly targeting people where they gather in crowds.
After 2 terror attacks in New York in recent months, for the first time, parking garages closest to Times Square will be closed on New Year's Eve. Banned from this year's ball drop, backpacks, large bags, and umbrellas. One computer software tool the NYPD will be using is called Video Synopsis, developed by Dr. Shmuel Peleg with the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. The cutting-edge program allows police to monitor real-time hours of video in minutes and can even search for specific items such as men wearing only the color red. Dr. Peleg says whenever someone plans an evil action, they scout the area and prepare, and that's when his software will help.
Because you can take the entire night, and rather than watch 10 hours, you watch 10 minutes. And you can detect these people and try to check what they are planning.
Dr. Peleg says the technology was instrumental in identifying and leading the FBI to the Boston Marathon bombers in 2013. New York police will also increase the number of snipers it has on its rooftops, but even the NYPD admits it's not going to reveal all of its plans to keep those visiting Times Square and the rest of the city safe. Eric Rosales, CBN News.
At least 12 people have died in the worst fire in New York City in 27 years. The fire broke out Thursday evening inside a 5-story apartment building in the Bronx. Gusting winds fueled the flames in below freezing temperatures. It took nearly 160 firefighters more than 2 hours to put out the fire. The youngest victim was just 1 year old. An Oregon court ruled against the Christian couple who was punished for refusing to make a cake for a gay wedding. Aaron and Melissa Klein, owners of Sweet Cakes by Melissa, declined to make the cake in 2013 because of their biblical views on marriage. A state agency fined them $135,000, forcing them to close their business. And Thursday, the Oregon Court of Appeals upheld that agency's decision. Christians had many reasons to celebrate President Trump's first year in office. Some are calling him the most evangelical leader in the U.S. in recent history. CBN's Jennifer Wishon takes a look at some of the reason evangelicals are celebrating in 2017.
The positive relationship between evangelicals and this White House can be traced directly to President Donald Trump's policies. But the good vibes don't end here at the White House. Here are 7 reasons why evangelicals are celebrating 2017. Neil Gorsuch. President Donald Trump promised to pick a conservative, pro-life justice to serve on the Supreme Court.
I've always heard that the most important thing that a president of the United States does is appoint people, hopefully great people like this appointment, to the United States Supreme Court.
Remember this picture? Spontaneous prayer for the president in the Oval Office after a day-long meeting between evangelical leaders and White House officials. Keeping a key campaign promise despite threats and criticism from around the world, President Trump recognized Jerusalem as Israel's capital and began the process of moving the U.S. Embassy there.
We cannot solve our problems by making the same failed assumptions and repeating the same failed strategies of the past.
It's seen as the fulfillment of biblical prophecy. A museum dedicated to the Bible opens on the National Mall.
We believe that the Bible speaks for itself, and you cannot read the Bible or come here to this place without understanding that Jesus is the Word of God.
Vice President Mike Pence, a pro-life evangelical Christian, occupies the second highest office in the land.
The sweetest words the president and I ever hear, and we hear them a lot, are when people grab us by the hand and say, "We're praying for you."
A weekly Bible study attended by members of President Trump's cabinet. Some of the world's most influential people going through the Bible together, verse by verse. Ralph Drollinger, founder of Capital Ministries, leads the weekly gathering and says nothing like this has happened in at least 100 years.
Best Bible study I've ever taught in my life. They are so teachable, they're so noble, they're so learned.
The Little Sisters of the Poor score a win for religious liberty at the Supreme Court. The Order of Catholic Nuns no longer has to provide insurance coverage for birth control and abortion-causing drugs or face a fine, which was required under Obamacare. 2017 was certainly a banner year for evangelicals. What more will the new year bring? Stay tuned to CBN News. At the White House, I'm Jennifer Wishon.
Americans are among the most generous people in the world. That is according to a report by the UK-based foundation Charities Aid Foundation. The report found 56% of Americans either donated money, volunteered time, or helped a stranger in need over the past year. Another study found most Americans give because they believe in the cause and not to get anything in return.